Hello. Happy Thursday. Can you hear me? So glad you guys are here. I'm chatting away. And guess what? My volume button was off. Lord have mercy. I need a Renee. Don't y'all think? I need me a Renee.
Hello.
And you're going to hear it because it's on my computer right here. Okay. Let me just tell you what a frustrating day it's been technology-wise. Oh, yes. Yes, much better, right? Now you can hear me, Gwen. Thank you. Yes, I had so many things to push and touch and hello. Forgot to hit the microphone button. So, thank you, Janet. No, Barb, it wasn't you. Hey, Tracy. So glad you're on. I moved my computer so that you don't see me turning sideways and see this loveliness going on. Oh, my goodness gracious. Yes, here I am. Hi, Karen. So good to see you on. Yes, the little microphone button that I forgot to push before I switched to me. Like I said, Tracy Moreau, I need Renee to move to Georgia or figure out how we can digitally have him come and do my controls, right? So, hi, Patricia up in Maine. Oh, you're sweet, Janet. So, hi, Julie. I just love that mom and daughter are on watching. Hi, Barbara, another one of my membership members. So I saw Marilyn and Michelle and Barb and Tracy Moreau and Charlie. Did I miss anybody? All of my current, Karen and Connie, all of my current membership, Diane, thank you so much. Yes, sound hopefully is back on. Carrie, Lizana, all these people that are my current members now. And we are so excited to welcome you guys tomorrow into our tribe of just fun, creative, stress-free, just lots of learning, lots of fun, lots of meeting new people. And I think that's my greatest blessing behind my paintbrush and my paint. And of course, y'all know my paintbrush of choice is Dynasty Brushes, and my paint of choice is Deco Art. So behind those, my greatest blessing has just been to travel the world. And we're talking Taiwan, and which that was oils, but I've made such great friends there. And Spain and England and all over the United States to paint and play and create and teach. And now with this platform, being able to reach people like Yvonne in Brisbane, Australia. Hello. Again, on my bucket list to go to. And Mary in Italy. And I have so many friends in Italy, have been to Italy many times, absolutely love it, would love to go back. And so I'm just going to scroll down here and see. Hi, Sue. Thank you so much, Sue, and Linda and Patty. Love our group. Come join us. Thank you so much, Charlie. We do have fun, don't we? We do. Hi, Linda from Michigan. You've sold me. I'm joining your tribe. Well, thank you very much. I'm going to try not to get emotional because I've had some amazing messages today and emails. Hello. So the doors open in less than 5 hours. And I have to tell you guys, okay. So my mom has this trick. You have to squeeze your butt cheeks to not cry. I'm very, very blessed. I know one of the ladies said, Sandy always says she's very blessed by us. We're very blessed by her. But I am truly blessed that I love what I do. I love that I get to share what I do. Okay, where's this coming from? And my thing was always, if I have 5 people join my membership, I'm going to share the heck out of what I know with those 5 people. If I have 500 people join my membership, I'm going to share the heck out of what I know with those 500 people. My goal is to share with the people that want to learn and connect with me. And I connect with every member in my membership now and in the future, because that's really what it's all about, is a community, a growing community of people that want to create and grow and learn how to use all the products. Like on the live last night, several people, Linda Dristas, I think, was one that said she's finally learning how to use all the products that she's bought at all these conventions and never knew what to do with them. And I'm a little untraditional. I like to use them the way they're intended, but then I also like to kind of push the limits and see what I can do with them. So don't make me cry, Janet. Thank you, Janet. Yeah, it's been a good day. So doesn't work, Sandy. What? Squeezing the butt cheeks. I know. My mom worked for the Family Support Center, and she was in Okinawa, Japan, and that's, I moved over and lived with them, met my husband on a blind date. Long story, you can read it on my blog. But then she was in Germany and accepting this award, and there's all these generals and everything there, and she started to cry, and someone said, squeeze your butt cheeks. And so she did that, and ever since then I've done it, and it does work. It kind of like controls the emotions from coming. But again, just some of the messages and emails I've gotten today have been very sweet and overwhelming, and hopefully we will not have any interruptions. I posted on my page that there were people from my internet company doing maintenance down the street, so I called because I was not having great service, and I said, I have a live tonight. I need you guys to fix this now. So I'm just going to look over. Oh, and Marion and Elizabeth, yes. And Sharon Madison, yes, all those members, Tracy Moreau, members of my group. Yes, so again, thank you guys, thank you guys, thank you guys. Just absolutely love that you guys are a part of my tribe. And again, super duper excited that for the first time, opening to the general Facebook population, or wherever you're joining me from, that we're going to join, and I don't know, just I look forward to creating with you guys if you are so led to do that. So hope that you're. Let's go to Scotland. Oh, yes. Yes. And we need you to come north. Absolutely, Tracy. I've been to Canada once, and that was with the Buffalo Snowbirds. Went up there in Buffalo and taught, and they treated me like a queen and took me over to Canada, and I got to see Niagara Falls, which of course y'all's is much prettier on that side of the border than ours. So so I can't keep up with all the comments. They're kind of coming in fast. Oh, Margene, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much. So I have to tell you guys, last night, and oh, who's that? So from Colombia. That must be Isabel from Colombia. Can I just tell you guys how exciting it is to be talking and sharing with people in Australia and Italy and Colombia and Canada and the UK. And I mean, being a military wife and a retired military wife now, but I also grew up military, I absolutely loved traveling, and that all kind of came to a halt last year. So being able to connect with you guys on all these different continents and the different time zones is such a blessing for me. So looking forward. Oh, another member, and Heather and Anne. So glad you guys are here. Thank you so much, other members of my tribe. And we, again, are so excited to welcome so many members the next 4 days. So hi, Janie, another one of my tribe members. Y'all are showing up tonight. Thank you so much. or I should say today, because some of you are on the West Coast and it's not nighttime, right? So last night I got off the live where it was interrupting. And I flew open the bedroom door, which connects to my studio. And I told my husband, I said, we have to do something. If it's on my end, we have to do something about the Wi-Fi, about the internet. I can't continue this way. It's so aggravating. It stresses me out, and I know it stresses y'all out. So he was in the middle of watching a show. And I said, you have got to call right now and find out what's going on. And if it's on our end, or if it's on their end, or if it's on Facebook's end, I need to know what's going on. So he called Cox. We have Cox Communications. He called them. We were on the phone with this sweet guy named Heath for over an hour. And he talked my husband and I, us old folks, into all these different things we needed to do. So we did those. And he said, and I just told my husband, I said, I don't care if you need to upgrade us to like the fastest, Maxis, whatever. I need to be able to go live and not have interruption. So he's on the phone with this guy, and I said, ask him what we need to do. Do we need to upgrade? Do we have the highest? Can we get more? Wi-Fi, power, whatever. And so the guy said, oh, well, let me look. And so he looked at our plan that we currently have, and we've been customers for 15 years. So the guy said, oh, well, look, I think I can double what you already have, and your bill's going to be $5 cheaper. Hello. So I saved us $5 a month, and so far have not seen one interruption on Facebook. So I don't know if, again, it was my internet, but right now it's looking pretty good, and I'm a happy camper because I was not happy last night. In fact, my husband, after he was in the middle of his show and he's calling and I'm telling him what's wrong, and he's like, okay, I guess I'm doing this right now at 9:00 at night. And I think we were on the phone till like 10:30 with this guy. I don't know where he was, but some support. And again, got everything worked out. And then today, no internet service for a while. So I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to come live. But long story short, for this Southerner who likes to go on and ramble, I'm not looking at the comments right now because I kind of want to get into a couple of things. So less than 5 hours, my membership doors open up, and I hope that you will join my current members and I for a time of your life. Creating, learning how to use products differently, learning how to create the way I create, and then also the way my guests that I share with you guys create. So I hope you guys are ready. But let me just give you a couple links. On my website, that's my link right there, SandyMcTierDesigns.com. Don't leave right now and go there. I want you to watch me, and then you can go there later. All right. So at the top of that, my website, you're going to see a banner that looks like this. And when you click on that, it's going to take you to the page that gives you more information. At the bottom of that page is going to be your payment options. So it's going to be either monthly for you or yearly. So it's a wonderful blessing for us too that we connect and learn. Oh, thank you so much, Pat. Thank you. Thank you, Barb and Sue, for putting those links in. So when you go to that page and you go down and look through everything that we do every month, to include when you sign up, everything I have done with my group since October. I opened my membership the 30th of September, and we went live in my very first membership group in October. So you get all the content. It's all there for you to watch and create and learn. All of my guest teachers, all of my Zoom classes that I've done, all that information is going to be sent to you when you sign up. Now, I will say, give my admins a little time to get that information to you when you sign up. It's not going to be immediately that you get a link, but there is a private Facebook group where we create that you will get a link for. There's links for the Zoom classes because those are another different link for you to go to and watch the Zoom classes. The email explains all the information for you to find all the files, all the videos, all the photos. And of course, in that Facebook group, you'll see members that have been there with me since October and have been creating and sharing what they love. And speaking of that, on the on my website, when you click on this banner right here, about 3/4 the way through, you're going to see a little button that says click here. And that's my membership testimonials. So some member quotes that I've put in there to let you know what my current membership thinks of what they're getting out of their membership. So with that said, it is 7:20, again, less than 5 hours that the doors open of my membership. Let me also tell you, my doors for my membership will not be open again until this fall. But I wanted to share with you guys a little something different tonight and take it kind of outside the art journal. I'm going to share I'm going to share a couple art journal pages with you, but I'm also going to go through a tag with you and share with you some of the tags that I've done in the past in case you're not familiar with those. So I'm just going to put my camera down to my work area here. All right. Hopefully I won't get in trouble because it's kind of a sneak peek, so don't tell anyone. But this is going to be, I don't know if I'm allowed to show, but it's in the May issue of the Pixelated Palette. And I have to tell you guys, if you don't subscribe to the pixelatedpalette.com, you so should. Such a great online publication, but this is my project. Okay. So, loved it. All right, so let's talk about tags, okay? So, tags. I love to paint on different surfaces. This is kind of what started the tag thing for me. So, this one has some crackle. I don't know if you can see it, but I did some crackle and painted that with acrylics and then turned it over. This is a wood surface from Viking Woodcrafts. And so you can see how thick it is. And then I thought, I love this shape. So I thought, I could cut that out on different materials because I only had one. So I took some cardboard that I had and I started cutting out the shape. And this is a Tracy Weinzapfel stamp. And just love her stamps. So cute, so fun. And so created on both sides. And I'll just hold that so you can see very thin. This is cardboard. All right. Again, another one of Tracy Weinzapfel stamps. And then this is what I was talking about yesterday. That painting on paper. When I paint in my journal, when I paint on different things, it becomes a project. I actually have a pattern packet for this, different coloring, but sitting down and playing with different things, allowed me to then create a design. So again, another one of Tracy Weinzapfel stamps, and loved just the little details. And I thought, I want to make this one different. So this one I actually connected and created so it would open up and then did something else on the back. So isn't that fun? So again, just laid that shape on, traced both of them, cut off the top so that it would match, and created a little fold out. Again, another one of her stamps. This is a pattern packet I have. I drew this out on my tag and then turned it into a pattern packet. Absolutely love everything UK, British, Union Jack, all about that. Living there for 6 years, probably the place that I felt the most at home, because that's where my ancestors come from. Nottingham and Glasgow County. So, or Glasgow, Scotland, excuse me, not Glasgow County. Hello. All right. And then again, some other tags, playing around with different stencils, different paint. Played around with this tag. And for those of y'all that are familiar with my hashtag Be Inspired book that I came out with, Viking Woodcrafts, my very first painting book and my only painting book since then, I painted it on a tag first. And then I painted it on wood, and it's the cover of my book. All right. So, and then absolutely love Debbie Coules, Coules, and she does these amazing tutus and stuff. So kind of got the inspiration for that. Again, painted this, became a pattern packet, painted it on wood. So, you know, just different ways to do tags. So in my group, in my membership, I've done 2 tags. One of them was this, and we were kind of in the middle of 2020, and a Stampenda stamp with the mom and this little dimensional butterfly. How fun is that? Now, you might be going, okay, what am I going to do with that? There's a little hole for ribbon. You can hang ribbon. You can put it in your art journal if you want to, or you can just put it up on an easel or hang it on the wall from the ribbon or from the hole. So again, another surface. These are chipboard, so they're pretty thick. I'm going to hold that way. It's a pretty thick chipboard, and I got these at Michael's. All right. So what I'm going to do tonight is show you a little, and I have my art journal here. So for y'all that are signing up and joining and becoming a member of the tribe, I want to let you know that I do have 2 different sizes on my website. This is a 7 by 10. This is my preferred art journal to work in because I can take the pages out. They come out nicely. Once I'm done creating, I can put them right back in. Okay, and I do have these up on my website. I'm just going to put that to the side. And let me show you real quick. Ooh, let's get rid of that. So let me show you how I prepped this tag. Okay, of course, I want to put gesso on it. I want there to be a tooth for that paint to grab onto. So I'm just going to use, since I'm limited on the the chipboard tags, I'm going to show you on this, and you can get these at Staples. This happens to be a vintage one that I had from some ledger book that I got at an auction. You can even see the discoloration, but I love the size of it. So I'm going to use my gesso. This is my preferred gesso, the DecoArt Media gesso. You can also get the DecoArt Traditions white gesso, and you can find those at marine-baker.com, cdwood.com, and I just love the thickness of these. If you can't find it, of course there are other brands, but if they're very thin and gritty, those are 2 things I don't like in a gesso, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and put some of this out. Let me find my palette knife. So on last night's page, I'm not sure if I did I think I did a palette knife. Yes, I did a palette knife on last night's page, which is here on the group, on my group. It's here on my Facebook page, and it's also on YouTube. But tonight, I'm going to apply it one of my favorite ways that actually I learned from Deb Antonick, and that's using a brayer. So it's just a small little brayer. And I'm going to load that up and kind of hit that here and there, cover it. What the brayer is going to do is it's going to give a little bit of a pucker to that gesso, creating texture. You almost get a wood grain from this, which is super cool. But let me hold that up, and then I just usually stick that right in my water basin. You can take the little roller out. Oops. But let me show you and hold this up. You get a little puckering on that gesso, and it's so amazing. And you get such great texture using that brayer. Up in areas like this, you can just kind of rub that in. All right, so let me put this to the side, and then let's wipe that up. And I have to tell you, I have to show you my inspiration for tonight. So I knew I wanted to do a tag, and then I got a package from Tracy Moreau with my stencils. You know, her and I have a line of stencils called M2, but it's M squared, Moreau McTier. And she made me this adorable Hello Kitty vinyl cutout that I could put on my car. So how cute is that? And so when I thought, oh, I want to do a tag, and then I thought, hello, right there, I'll do be kind, and I ended up doing be something, and I'll share that with you in a minute. But is that not the sweetest and cutest? So I'm going to put that on the back of my car window, I think, or in my studio. Haven't decided. So thank you for that, Tracy. All right, so I am going to take that gesso and just move it. And I got several messages last night. So let me go ahead and tell you, in case you're wondering, this is a silicone rubber mat that I got on Amazon. Silly me, I do not have an affiliate link or code with Amazon. I so should, because I know that there are about 30 people that I personally know that have this mat because of me. And that's okay. I love sharing what I get and what works for me, and hopefully it works for y'all. But this is just you can put it in Amazon, silicone baking mat. I put in extra large. Originally, I ordered white, but it came in gray, and I have to tell you, I'm so glad it came in gray because white reflects all the light. So it cleans up beautifully. Okay, so now that my tag is dry, because I switched. I already had one prepped and ready. My tag is dry. I'm just going to load some paint on my palette. Thank you so much, Sue, for putting those in there. Put it in your car window, Connie. Absolutely. That was my first guess, so I probably will. So I'm using Marigold. You can use yellow ochre. Any kind of raw sienna is a little deep, but that's okay. You can even use some raw sienna. We need a group meeting in October. Absolutely, in Oklahoma. Totally agree, Connie. So I'm going to put a little bit of that on my palette, just a little, like a pea size, because I don't want to use too much. I want it to be inky. I'm going to get my brush wet. Doesn't matter what brush, 3/4. I grab my 1/2-inch angle. And I'm going to slip slap this paint on. Now, because this side of the tag has gesso on it, it's pretty sealed. That side I had already done. If you're working on a chipboard tag, my recommendation is to either paint this with matte medium or paint it with gesso so that it doesn't swell, because this is cardboard basically. All right, so I'm just going to come in, and I want to see those little crisscross strokes. So thin out that paint. And so I'm just doing a big X. Nice big X there. Okay, because I want to see the variation in color. You'll see it's a little darker here, a little darker there. It's lighter here where I added a little more water. All right. And again, I'm not looking at the comments right now, but I definitely will go back and answer any questions that you might have. If Sue and Barb and any of my other members that are in the group that are answering questions, if they don't have the answer for you, I definitely will answer those for you. All right, so the tag's gonna dry. I'm just gonna set that aside because magically, after I wipe up this mess, I think I use more baby wipes now than when my kids, who are now, oh my goodness, 25, 26, and 27 years old when they were babies. So I have a tag already done and finished, and I'm using one of Stampendis's. Let me see if I have their, so they have a Facebook group. Go over and follow them on Stampendis Facebook group and Instagram. They have a virtual party going on right now for their catalog. And if you're interested in getting this stamp, I don't have it available, but you can order it. Let's take that one away. You can order it from Deb Antonik at paintingwithdeb.com. So stinking cute. So I kind of did a combination. I used this stamp, which is, let's see, this one is, let me see if I can hold it up. If not, I'm going to do like I did before and write the supply list down and put that on my page here. But that's the Stampendis number. Again, you can order this from Deb as well. I loved this bee for the tag that I was doing. So I kind of incorporated, I loved how big the honeycomb was on this, but I loved the bee on this. This was a little too cutesy for what I was wanting to do. So I used the bee from here, used the honeycomb from there. And again, two great, fabulous stamp sets from Stampendis. All right, so that's all dry. These are the cling rubber, so you can use them just like this, or for the smaller elements, you can put them on a stamp block. And I'm gonna use my favorite, stays on ink, doesn't bleed, you can paint over it. I mean, you can put so much moisture and water and stuff and paint on top of this, it's not gonna bleed, all right? So I'm going to load that stamp up. And let's put that right here. Let's see. Can't remember how I did that one. I think I did this corner right here. Yep, I think right there. Okay, so I'm gonna lay it down, press it in place, and I kind of have my finger. Can you see how I have my finger right there? Because I don't want that ink to get in that right there. I want it to be uneven. Ooh, and look how, I hate the word juicy, but it is kind of juicy, that ink pad. And that's where my word's gonna go, so it's okay. And then I'll take that same stamp and put it down here, even though I know I'm gonna paint something in this corner. Just a little something, something. Okay, so I'm going to put that one aside. Let's put that over there. And then I want to take, this is from the Grunge. So this is another Stampendis set. It's called Grunge Script. And again, just loved the look of those words. And I'm going to put a little bit up here, a little down here. And then the cool thing about it is you can, move it and just use parts. So I'm going to lift half of it up. So you only get a little bit. Oh, I want a little more. So there we go. Yes. So like Deb said, you can tear a piece of paper if you don't want something to show. You can use Post-it notes, to kind of put it somewhere. I know I'm going to have a little saying right here, so I'm not too fussed about that blob of ink. Which I have to say, all my Stampendis, my stays on ink pads are so dry. So, all right, so now I'm going to take a little acrylic form and put that bee on there. Let's go ahead and load that up. And this is a good tip too when you're stamping. Before you do it somewhere on your art piece, stamp it on a scrap piece of paper. That will keep you from doing things like that, all right? So again, I know that that's about the image I want, and I'm going to lay that in place right about there. Again, load it up. And I want this one kind of dive bombing. And that's, I have to tell you right now, that's a little on the dark side for me. So let me show you what you can do when you want to put a barrier between your layers when you're doing mixed media. So I'm just going to dry this with my heat tool. Thank you so much, Deb, for putting those links in. People can go shopping and get them. Deb has very reasonable shipping from the from her website. And again, there is a Stampendous. And this isn't a paid advertisement. I just love the companies. I use their products. I work with them, but certainly not in a paid capacity with the Stampendous plug. Just think they're a fabulous company, fabulous stamps. They have a virtual catalog party going on right now, and you can order those. Again, paintingwithdeb.com. All week long, they've had the virtual party going on. You can send her an email on the link that's on her website, and you can order onesies and twosies of all the stamps you want. Okay. That's still, wow, that's still pretty wet. Okay, so remember down here, it's a little on the dark side. So I am going to take a little bit of gesso and show you how to tone down a layer if you want to. So I'm going to take my brush. Just got home from work. Hi from Idaho. Got a package from you that I ordered. Oh, thank you so much, Margot. Did you see your little freebie extra in there with your little bee? Thank you so much. I'm so excited that you're joining my tribe. Okay, so little gesso, and I'm going to make it inky. And I'm just going to wash over that stamp. And the reason being is I don't want it to be so dark. It's going to compete with the ink that I'm trying to put on right now with that bee. So let's move that out of the way. Oops. Okay. So I have to show you guys. I wiped off my palette knife and I put it on the paper towel, and I just went to pick up the next paper towel, and it's all underneath my fingers. Okay. So now what I want to do is I'm going to take my paper towel and I'm just going to lightly brush over it. But see how that toned that area down? So I can go back in with my stamp. Again, test it on a scrap piece of paper. Make sure that I have all the markings. And then I'll come in and put my stamp. I think probably right about there. It still might be a little too dark in the background, but when we paint it, you'll be able to see it. Okay, so I'm going to move that to the side. Let's close that up so it doesn't dry out. And then let's reopen it, because I do have another element on this stamp that I used, which was this little swirl. I started to draw them like with the Identipen, but this was just too perfect. So, and again, it came with the stamp set. So I'm going to move that one to the side, press that into place, just this little curly Q. And I'm just kind of swirling it around on that ink pad. I'm not even going to test it. I'm just going to go for it. Okay, so we'll put one up here, and we'll put one down here. And maybe we'll turn the direction, put one there. And let's see, maybe right here. All right, so that's it for our stamping. Move that to the side. Go ahead and clean up our little gesso inky bit. But if this is your background, this is what I was telling you guys about last night. What is the mat you're commenting about? Amy, this is a extra large silicone mat that you can find on Amazon. And I found it about, oh gosh, maybe March of last year. And seriously, the people that have told me they bought it since then, we're talking a lot. Love it, love it, love it. It, like you see, it cleans up so easy. The other thing is I use it as my palette a lot of the times. So got a little bit of a smear right here. So again, I'm going to take my gesso and I'm just going to wipe over that. Let it sit for a minute while I close the jar. But if this is my background, say on a journal page or an art piece or whatever, I could let this sit, let it completely dry, and then put a wash of gesso. Do you see how that just took that down several notches? And again, that's what mixed media is about. But even in decorative painting, if you want to do a nice background with different elements and paint something on top, this is going to help take down those layers for you. So, all right. So I am going to rinse my brush. And I have a word going here, but I don't like straight lines. So I'm going to take away that line right there. A little bit of water. There we go. Okay, so we have our bees on. We have our background stamps on. That honeycomb I just love. Let's paint a rose. And so I got this idea actually from last night's Facebook Live. I think it was Linda Drista or somebody that, or Linda Grass that said, oh, I haven't seen that page before. And I thought, ooh, let's paint a rose on this bee tag. So I'm going to get out a little bit. I'm going to use the media line, but I'm going to show you what colors you can use if I grabbed them. I think I did. So I'm going to use quinacridone magenta, but you can use my other favorite color in the Americana line, berry cobbler. Any kind of a fuchsia, burgundy color would be pretty. And well, that's not really burgundy. It's that deep pink, beautiful color. Okay, so I'm going to lay some of that out. I'm also going to lay out some of my friend Tracy Moreau's favorite color, asphaltum. All right, a little bit of that out. Just a little. We are conserving our paint these days, right? So we'll go ahead and get a little bit of white. Don't you love those things on the top of your paint bottle? No. All right, so we have quinacridone magenta or berry cobbler or, you know, berry wine, whatever color you have that's similar to that. We have white, some asphaltum. I need a little bit of Payne's gray. So either Americana Payne's gray, media Payne's gray, whatever floats your boat. Put a little bit of that out. And I'll leave my greens for right now. I am going to zoom in real close so that you can see this. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to load this 1/2-inch angle brush with a little bit of asphaltum. And I'm just going to brush that right along the edge of my tag. Oops, picked up some pink, which I have to say that's kind of pretty, but it's not what I want. So I'm just going to, the toe of the brush has the paint. So if you're not familiar with an angle brush, oh my word, the best brush ever, has a toe and a heel. And so a little bit of that asphaltum on the toe. And again, these are my Black Gold by Dynasty, which is my favorite brush company, but also my favorite line of the brushes. Okay, so we just kind of framed that in a bit with that asphaltum, and we're going to go back and add some more to that, but I kind of just wanted to bring your eye into that design. So we will rinse that. All right. Thank you so much, Barb. Thanks for putting those links in. So I'm just going to hit that with my heat tool to dry it off. And again, this is arrange or heat it. You can get this soon on my website. Still waiting for my order. dickblick.com, cdwood.com. And it's a fantastic, very quiet heat tool. One of the reasons I love to use it, but it's also It's very hot, so it will dry your piece in no time. All right. Okay, let's paint a rose. So I'm going to come right up here, and this is just a stroke rose. I'm going to load up my quinacridone magenta, and I'm going to take my brush in the shape that I paint my roses. Okay, so just kind of that basic shape. Some days I paint roses better than others. Let's hope tonight is a good night for painting a stroke rose, right? Okay, so basic shape. Then I'm going to wipe off my brush. I'm going to pick up a little Payne's Gray on the toe of that brush, and I'm just going to work it in. Okay, now there are 3 circles to a rose. You have your main circle, you have your top circle, and you have a circle that goes right here. So let me show you how to find those. This is the top circle, the very top of that rose where you could stick your finger right in the center of it. So you do a little U stroke. It's going to be dark, and I'm making it dark especially for the camera so that you guys can see that. So that's your inner circle. The next circle is the bottom of the rose. So imagine that there's a stem right here that goes down, and you have some petals that kind of fall off to the side. So this is the bottom base of that rose. All right. So can you see how it's starting to come together? It's starting to look like a rose, right? So I'm going to rinse my brush just to get that Payne's Gray out of there. Load it up with all quinacridone magenta. A little white on the toe. So I have quinacridone magenta on all the brush. I'm going to move my chair out of the way. I paint much better when I stand. So with that brush white on the toe only, I'm going to tap that brush in place and come down doing a very loose stroke. Just like that. Okay. Then from here, I'm going to start so the heel is down. Everything faces that bottom bowl. The toe stays up and goes over. Then I'm just going to do a slight little stroke or 2. Come back. I'll pick up and do another layer. Okay, so a little white on that toe of the brush. I haven't reloaded the magenta. And then I skip, and I'm going to come down here. And I'm just going to slide these strokes in. So the toe is out, the heel is sliding in. And I'm just going to slide. So see how I tap that? I tend not to pull it. I like to tap it because then you get these cool little variations in the stroke. So not much of a wiggle, more of just a pull. Now, another thing I like to do with my roses is to take this front layer and make it look like there's a petal that's right there in the front of the rose. Same thing with this one. So nothing on my brush. I'm just pulling paint down from what I put on. Then I'll come back to my angle brush and slide to do that front part of that rose petal that I can see the back of. Okay, then I'll come back once I get the placement that I like, and I'll just pull a couple little strokes right there. Little stroke there. And then again, right from the edge. To kind of get my rose shape, okay? Now, I'm loving my rose on my original, which is this one. Let me just pull it. I used a different color. I thought it was a little on the dark side, but I'm kind of liking that. But once you get that rose done, what I want you to remember is it doesn't have to be done in, one and done. You can come back and add a little bit to it. So if I need to darken this, if I need to come back with some of that quinacridone magenta and lay that in the base of that bowl, separate those petals a little more, you can definitely do that with color. All right, just a little swipe of color will do just that for you. If I need to darken that inner bowl right in here, I can, oops, a little too much. I can come back with some Payne's Gray, darken that just a little. To kind of get that rose shape in, okay? You need to hold my hand and paint my roses. Oh, Pam, you're too sweet. So you paint roses beautifully. I've seen your roses. Okay. So, again, a little bit of that dark color up underneath those flips. You can come back in and wash a little bit of that underneath. So again, quick and easy rose, but it might need a little something, something. And that little something, something, you can come back in and add. And this one I think I want to bring down a little more. Okay, we're going to leave that for now. I really like my other one better. Okay, so let's go to the bees. So on the bees, let's zoom in, get those. I'm just going to do one. All right. I've never seen a rose done before with those front petals pulled down. Yes, super fun. And again, I love, when you look at like an English tea rose and you see that front petal and look at the shape of it. It's kind of rounded on the bottom, triangle at the top. Okay. And then all these petals go toward the very base of that rose. They don't go to it, they go toward it, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. Okay. So with the bee, I'm going to take, let's get, what is this? This is a Zero Rigger. You can use a liner brush as well. I'm going to get out a little bit of, you can use saffron yellow. Let's get that out. So some saffron yellow, or you can get Dairy-Lied yellow. And when you say it with a Southern accent, it sounds so much better. Dairy-Lied yellow in the media line. Nice, bright, bold color. I think Folk Art has one that's similar. School Bus in the Americana is saffron yellow. Okay. So a little bit of, oops, that wasn't shook. So a little bit of that saffron. I'm going to get some Hansa Yellow Light or some bright yellow. And then also some white. A little bit of white. And black. So let's see. Lamp black or carbon black. And can I just tell you guys how excited I am that I haven't seen one interruption on the Facebook page. Hello. And my internet bill is $5 cheaper. So let's zoom in just a little more. Okay, so I'm just going to load this brush up with some water, tap it across my paper towel just so I don't get too much moisture in there. I'm going to pick up some black, and I'm just going to go right over this stamp, and I'm going to tap it because I do want there to be some texture. Now, like I said on the Facebook Live from last night, thank you so much, Sue. I appreciate you putting those links in. I don't want it to look like I stamped it. A line drawing, hello, is a stamped image. A stamped image is a line drawing, right? This is copyrighted, so you have to make sure that you follow those rules. But I'm just going to tap that in place with the black, using that zero rigger. You can also use a liner brush. It's just what I had handy. And for the sake of just doing it, let's do it. Let's go ahead and tap in this one. I'm going to turn it because I can't tell where that center is. And I'm going past the line. Just like I tell people I paint with, my students, a line drawing is a guideline. Hello, let's get on camera. A line drawing is a guideline. That doesn't mean that you have to paint it in exactly the way it is. It's just there to guide you. And I went way far on that one. Okay. So I'm going to rinse that brush. Okay, so yellows are transparent. So we're going to take a little bit of that Diary Lined Yellow. And I'm just going to tap it right in place. And if my black is wet, that's fine. It's just going to go right into that and blend just a little bit. I love that golden touch of that Diary Lined Yellow. Saffron yellow is my favorite yellow Americana color as well. So again, we'll put that in. And remember, I came down a little bit too far here. Now, I have to tell you guys, if you don't know, black and yellow sometimes make the prettiest green. So black is mixed with a bunch of different colors to create that color of black. And a lot of times it does have a green tone to it, which you're seeing right there when you mix a yellow with it. So we're going to let this dry. I'm going to move on to my small brush. Let me find, let's go with a number 8. So I'm just going to grab a number 8, get that wet. I'm going to pick up just a little bit of white. And right here, you'll see how, well, you won't see it there, but you'll see it there. A little bit of inky white. Okay, because I don't want to cover all the lines, but I do want to add a little bit of white to the wings. And you can add some blue to shade this, some purple. I just came back with a little bit of Payne's Gray, and I'll show you that when it's dry. But we just want to add just that touch of white to the wings. Okay, more water in my brush than paint. So I'm going to turn this. And I know I'm covering up some of those lines. Quite all right. I'm going to show you how to bring them back. Again, a wash. So last night on the Facebook Live, I showed you guys on the Facebook. I just sounded really old, didn't I? I showed you how I used that metallic luster. I think the metallic luster would be amazing on these bee wings. Okay. So we have our little wash of white. I feel like I need a little more right there. And then I am going to hit this with the heat tool. All right, I'm sitting on the cord. There we go. Thank you, Sue. Like I said, roses, some days I can crank them out and do them very fast. The one I painted on my original today, I wiped it off about 3 times. That's kind of my limit. Wipe it off 3 times. All right. So I'm just going to give that kind of the test touch there. It's dry. And then let's come back with our little liner brush, our rigger, which is different than a liner. It goes flat, but I'm using it because it was the closest thing to me. I'm going to pick up a little bit of Hansa yellow and a little bit of white. And I'm just going to mix that together. A little bit more yellow than white. And I'm going to tap right along. Again, I don't want a U shape. I don't want there to be straight lines. I just want to tap and make that uneven. Pick up a little more. I think with that bottom layer, which is the Diary Yellow or Saffron Yellow, they kind of go a little bit more, that coloring to me is more like a yellow jacket. I want them to be bees, not yellow jackets. Okay. So I got our little bee here. Remember, this one kind of got a little lost, but because I have some white in that yellow, we can regain that space. Little taps of color. Again, more yellow than white. I would say probably 2 to 1. Couple dabs of yellow, 1 dab of white, mix that together. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to rinse that out. We're going to let this dry. And what I do oftentimes when I put on that yellow is if I need to come back and reshape that black at all, this is a good time to do that. So if you put too much yellow, if you put too straight of a line, it's a good time to kind of come back and give a little bit more of a dip in your stroke there with paint. Okay, same thing on, let's push that up. I'm not going to turn it over. I'm just going to, I can see it already. See a straight line, straight line. I want to kind of take away that exactness. Again, make it look like it's hand painted instead of stamped. Okay. So let's rinse that out. And I am going to dry that with a heat tool. Now let's add some fun. So I'm going to come back with my 1/4 inch angle brush. So again, just like my 3/8 angle, has a heel and a toe. This is Black Gold by Dynasty. And I tend to work within my shape, my size. So when I come back and I add these little shadows, I'll use either my 3/8 angle or my 1/2 inch angle because it's bigger. I have space to use that brush. If I'm trying to get into a tight space, I tend to go down a little to like the 1/4 inch angle. So I have a little bit of moisture in my brush. Tap that on a paper towel. I'm going to pick up a little bit of Payne's Gray, very little. I'm working that in, as you can see right there on the camera. And then right here at the base of the wings, just a very loose float of color. So it's almost like a little shimmy. Okay, let's turn that over. Nothing wrong with turning your piece to get it comfortable for you to put that in. The toe of the brush is closest to the bee body, the bee body. All right, so see how that just kind of grounds them, kind of attaches them to the bee a little better. Same thing on these. All right, so a little bit at the base of those wings, and I am going to come back with the Identipen and show you how you can strengthen those lines if you lose them. Okay, if you need to separate those wings, you can slide a little bit of shading in right there. Use your finger to separate it. In fact, I did a little too much, so I'm going to come back and clean up. I don't want that dark down there. Okay, so put in our color on our bee, little shading at the base of the wings there. Now I'm going to come back with a little bit of yellow and more white. So that light yellow and more white. And on the right-hand side here, I'm going to add a little bit brighter color. Same thing on this one. A little bit brighter color on that right side. So up here, it's on the left. Here, it's on the right. Okay. So just to kind of brighten it a little bit. Rinse that brush out. Let's let this set up for just a minute. I'm going to come back to my 3/8 angle, little bit of Payne's Gray on the toe of the brush only. So let me show you right here. If you're not familiar with an angle brush, the toe is the longer part, the heel is the shorter part, and I only have color on that toe. And I'm kind of working that in. You can see the moisture is bringing that color over just a little. And then I flip the brush just to work it in on the other side, okay? You don't want too much moisture in your brush, but you do want that color to carry. So it's easier to add additional layers, much harder to take off a ton of color. But the toe of the brush is right up underneath that wing, and I'm just gonna float in some of that color, a little bit under the body, just to make that bee look like it kind of is flying right off that tag, right? So let's turn it over. Now, let me show you, because if you turn it over, you can do it on the wrong side. So I wouldn't do it on the back of his wings because he's flying down towards the flower. So this side of the wings is where you'd have that shadow. A little bit from the legs. Maybe a little bit on that side of the body. And then I'm just going to take the toe of the brush and I'm going to come up and do like a little cast shadow from these legs. Nothing too bright. Okay. This one's a little wimpy. I need to beef that up just a little bit. There we go. Okay. Now let's highlight these just a little. So I'm going to take that rigger and pick up just a little bit of white. Just a touch. Kind of tap it into the brush. Let me come up here so you can see. I'm going to tap that into the brush because I don't want to go with heavy, heavy paint. Just a touch of paint. Oh, thank you, Anne. Never have thought about that. I would have shaded in the wrong place. Well, when I started to turn it over, I knew I was going to do exactly that, Charlie. So that's why I wanted to point it out. So, you know, because we did under the wings here, if you're thinking you have to do under the wings, well, the bee's facing down. So we actually have to change the shadow. Okay, so I worked in that white. And now I just want to add a little bit of a highlight to the bee. And I'm going to start in the yellow because if it's too bright there, I can wipe it off. And then I can come up to the black and just add a little highlight and a little highlight, okay? And then I'm also going to do a little highlight on the top of each wing, very, very lightly. I love these rigger brushes. Okay. So a little bit more white. Oops, I have yellow in there. Let me rinse that brush. A little bit of white. Thank you guys so much for being here with me tonight. Again, 2 nights in a row. Who would have thought? A little bit of white right on those wings. Actually, let's put those where they belong. How about that? So remember, our bee's going down. So I'm going to put my white highlight on the back of the wing, not on the front of the wing. Okay. And then I'm going to take a little bit of that white, tap it on the yellow, and then tap it on that black. By the time you get to the black, you will have tapped off enough of that white that you get that really pretty little highlight. Okay, that goes on our bee. All right. Thank you so much, Maddie. Okay, that really is still aggravating me, but we're going to take care of that right now. So let me zoom out just a little bit. Not 100% happy with my rose. In fact, I'm probably going to paint over it. But for the sake of this, I'm going to go ahead and show you I just did very simple leaves. I didn't want anything like real heavy. So I did very watercolory leaves on my original. So let me hold that down. So you can see them here. They have one color, sap green in the media line, or plantation pine, okay? Or thicket, all right? Just a nice dark green color. Oh, thank you, Margot. That means the world. Like I said in the very beginning, it's kind of been an emotional day for me because I just feel super blessed. Okay, so with my number 8, my brush has water in it. I'm gonna load up some of that paint. I just picked up white. Let me put it down here so you can see it. See how much water's in there? So I'm going to the very loose shape of a leaf. Very loose shape of a leaf. Very loose shape of a leaf. I'm gonna wipe off my brush, slide on the chisel edge, and it's gonna pull a little stem because it's picking up color. Okay, then I'll come down here, and I do want a little bit of green down here to make it look like there's leaves. There really isn't. And then again, I have, and I'll post a picture, like I said, with all the supplies that I'm using, probably tomorrow, probably won't be tonight, but I will definitely have those for you guys so that you can see exactly what I used, and a little line drawing of my rose. And then you can just kind of print that off, come back and paint it like you want, okay? So very simple, very easy, quick little leaves. Didn't want to do too much. I'm going to hit that with the heat tool and dry it off. Charlie, you paint beautiful roses. I loved when you were here and we painted those together. Thank you, Karen Boylan. Thank you. Always my goal is to share and show you guys and teach what I love to do. Okay, see, quick and easy, dry. So I am gonna come back. Let's add our words. So let me come down here. And these are, my B's are a little bit closer than on my original, right here, okay? So I have a smaller printed page, and I'm just gonna tear off the excess. And if you watched my Sunday live, you saw how I tore my paper to get that nice fibrous edge to my words. Okay, so let's move that to the side. And I'm gonna take my, just my 3/8. Hello, Robin. Linda, I love how you make everything look so easy. Means we have to practice, practice, practice. So can I just tell you, that is my, my biggest tip. If you wanna learn how to paint roses better, print off some clip art, print off a line drawing, and sit there and practice painting a rose. Once you kind of get the shape of it, and you know that inner circle and that bowl, it really starts to make sense. And when you start to pull those strokes in, it makes sense when you know the shape of it. So I am always practicing roses to this day because I want to paint them better and better and better. So Karen just said, you look great on the big screen. Aww. Are y'all watching in the living room? Pam, you know it, right? They're probably in the living room watching me on the big screen. So I have a wet brush, and I'm just gonna go right along the outer edge of these words, but right above where I know I want the paper to tear. Okay, so you can see the lines from the water. I printed this with my inkjet, guys. It did not bleed. So I'll share and show how to keep it from bleeding. So just a little bit on the sides. All right. So I want to hold my thumb where my word is because I don't want it to tear my word. So I'm going to hold it here. Let me turn that around. Okay, so we'll put that word aside. And then you can come back again with your thumb on the word. You can come back and tear away a little more if you want to get rid of that excess. Okay, if I had my finger up here and I tore and it was wet there, it could tear some of my letter off. So again, putting your finger there is going to help keep that from tearing where you don't want it to. Again, a little excess there. Yes. Oh, I loved that you showed me how to do those batiks, Charlie. And that's what it reminds me of too. You get that fibrous edge to the paper versus just ripping it and tearing it or cutting it. And if you want that straight edge, by all means, you can cut with a pair of scissors. I have my ways and my OCD-ness about some things. This isn't one of them. I love that uneven edge with that paper and how that works. Okay, so let's get that water off. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. Okay, and we'll get our tag here. Now, before I add these, do I want to add them now? I'm going to add them now. A little bit of matte medium. If you don't have this, you can use decoupage medium, some Mod Podge, MOD Podge, not Mod, Mod Podge. So I'm going to rinse out my brush, pick up some matte medium. Now this one's going to be a little different than my original that I created because I didn't leave enough room between my B's. So see how I'm just brushing that on? It's going to dry clear, so I don't have to worry about it. The other thing I'm going to do is I want to mist these with some water. It's going to relax that paper. It's going to help them not have the bubbles and wrinkles. Okay, I think I want to put happy on first because that will help me decide where the word B is going to go. Okay, so put on my word happy. I'm going to take my brush, put a little bit more medium on it, wipe that right over the top. Okay, so I know that the word B is going to go right here, right over that big blob of black paint that or ink that was there. Oops. Let's pick that up and try that again. Okay. So brush right over that, and then I'm going to dry it. Again, anytime you use like a matte medium, you want to make sure you wipe that jar lid. Just get rid of any of that excess so that you can open the jar the next time. Also want to make sure you're moving your heat tool so it doesn't catch on fire. Okay. So you have a couple options. You can make the paper white like it is there, or I wanted it to be a little bit more a part of my tag. I don't know if my mind is gone or I've forgotten I learned before, but seeing you wet the paper first was a game changer. Oh, thank you, Linda. Yeah, I've done that since my scrapbooking days, just to get a nice fibrous edge. So, okay, so I am going to turn this white paper to look more like the background. So I'm just using my 1/2 inch angle that I had before, a little bit of marigold, a bit of water. Okay, so a little bit of water, well, a bit of water, a little bit of marigold, and I want to turn that paper from white to just a tint of yellow. If I wanted my letters a little darker, I can always come back with my Identipen if I need to. But I don't think I need to. I think it's completely fine the way it is. Again, let's dry that. Aw, thank you, Linda Morgan. I love that teachers love to teach. I love to teach. It was so sweet. My mom said that the other day. She says, like, the words roll right off your tongue. You can tell you love what you do. Always have. Now, when I first started, I mean, I've always painted, but in 2000 and, oh gosh, Charlie, when was it? 2005, I went and I got certified as a one-stroke instructor. 2006, I went to my very first convention ever. And on top of going to the certification for the first time, I'd never taken a class. I was self-taught. So I thought, I'm not going to teach. I just want to paint and have fun and paint. And oh my gosh, 2 years later, I'm teaching and have met the most amazing students around the world, to include, like I said, here locally where I taught for almost 13 years at Hobby Lobby. Okay, my Identipen. If you don't know what these are, the most amazing pen, double-sided, and has a thin end and a fat end. It was 2005, but I met you in 2006, Charlie, I think, at the Rosen Plaza with your mom. Okay, so I want to extend this wing because I went a little close, unlike on my original. So I'm just going to extend that right over that paper. Okay, see how that pushed the word B back into my design? Nothing real dark. I just want to very loosely go around that. Okay, same thing here. I didn't do that on my original, but I want to extend that wing right over that paper. And if you need to go over your wings again, very lightly. I'm not pushing hard. Just letting that pen. Sometimes the thin end of an Identipen doesn't like to go over paint. But what I love about this brush, what I love about this pen is that it doesn't bleed. I've not had great luck with Sharpies. They've bled on me. Micron pens, same. You kind of have to give them a little spritz of a workable fixative. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and we have a couple more touches. I'm going to take my Stays On ink pad and I'm just going to go right around the edge. Again, just to kind of frame this in. Not 100% thrilled with my rose, but I will change it later. It's just paint and it can be changed and manipulated. Okay, so I have my ink around the edge, which I love. Oh yes, Connie, that was 2008. Loved that certification. Okay, so now I'm going to use a gift card or hotel key, an old sturdy gift card. And I'm going to take that through a little bit of black. And I'm going to add some lines. So I want to add a little line right here. And I know I want to add one right there. Okay, that one didn't show up as well as I'd like. Let's do that. Okay, then a little bit of black. And let me show you right here. I'm running my card back and forth through the paint just to get a little bit of black on there. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to add a little bit of black and a little bit of black. Okay, now see how that kind of got a blob? I can completely wipe it off. All those layers, that gesso and everything, as soon as you put it on, if you don't like it, wipe it off. Oh, thank you, Linda. I'm not really digging this rose compared to my other one, but it'll do for now. Okay, so little line. Let's get some more paint on there. Do I have that one higher? I actually have that one going right onto the rose. Okay. Same stinking thing. Let me watch what I'm doing instead of looking at the comments. All right, so a little bit of black and a little bit of black line right there. There we go. Okay, so once you put those lines on, again, that tool, the hotel key, the gift card, such a great thing to do those lines with. Okay. And then y'all know how much I love splatter. On this one, I only added a little bit of white. So I'm going to use my, I don't know, I'm just going to grab my big angle brush. Okay, so my angle brush and some white paint, and I'm going to come over here and really make that a nice inky little puddle. And since I have my, where did it go? My Identipen right there. I'm going to take the middle of the brush to the middle of the Identipen, and I need more paint. See how nothing came off? So a little more water, a little more paint, and I'm going to splatter some paint. Now the head of the brush is where that paint's going to go. I don't like doing the toothbrush way because it gets underneath my fingernail. Okay, so a little bit of white splatter here and there, but not everywhere. And if you get it where you don't want it, you can wipe it away right away. Don't let it dry because it's not going to come off. Okay, now I'm going to let that sit for a second. Like, not even a minute. More than a second, but not a minute. Okay, and what I want to do is take my paper towel, let it sit for a second, and then I'm going to lightly tap it. And what that's going to do, and then just turn my paper towel over, is that's going to give you a splattered look, but more of a stained splattered look. So it's not sitting on top of, it becomes one with your page. All right. So, and I love that technique and look so that it kind of softens that splatter. Sometimes it's a little heavier, but other times you just get that very stained, splattered look. All right. So that was my original. And I did this one with, let me zoom out just a little. I did this one with quinacridone violet. And well, let me tell you, if I'm being honest, it was a yellow rose at first, and it just did not look good because of all the yellow in the background. So I changed it to quinacridone violet, and then this one is quinacridone magenta. So one thing I see I did on here that I haven't done here is take a little brush. Let me find just one of my dry brush. So my Mezzaluna dry brushes. I picked up a little bit of white, and I did do a little bit of dry brushing just on this petal here and a little bit on that petal there. Now the thing is, if you get too much or it's too bright, all you have to do is come back with your base color and paint a wash over it, and it'll take care of it. Okay, but again, my original and the one we did tonight. So again, taking those little things that you've learned, I could so totally turn this into an art journal page, doing same techniques in the background, making my elements a little bit bigger, maybe doing more roses, bigger bees, same great, incredible stamps. And anyway, I hope that inspired you guys to, you know, get out those stamps, get out those stencils, print off some words, and create a little art tag. And yeah, I'm going to go back through all of the comments. I'm going to look real quick in just a second, but I'm going to go back through all the comments and answer those. Sometimes I have so many that Facebook blocks me for a day and it won't let me because it thinks I'm spamming answering you guys or liking the comments and posts. So thank you, Linda. What's that brush? Which brush? You'll have to let me know, Karen. Used an angle, Mezzaluna. If you're not familiar with the Mezzaluna brush, Dynasty makes these. They're stiff. They're fantastic for dry brushing. There's 4 different sizes: small, medium, large, and extra large. And they make the most amazing clouds. And like you saw there, a little dry brushing on the petal. And I do have them on my website, and you can get the bundle of the 4 for cheaper than getting one of each. In fact, I don't think I even have them for one of each because my bundle is such a great price. But just a great stiffer bristle. I'm going to hold it up so you can see. So it will bend, but it's stiff enough, and I use it primarily dry. All right. And I love the acrylic handle. And then sometimes I even use the acrylic end to kind of score into different things like modeling paste. Yeah, create some different textures and looks that way. So thank you, Betty. Thank you so much, Connie. Thank you, Karen. Yes, so Mezzaluna. There was another brush company that used to make them. I'm not sure what the name was called, but I think it was Crescent brushes or something for dry brushing. Anyway, Dynasty makes them 4 to my bundle set. Incredible, amazing brushes to dry brush with. Okay, so thank you so much, Diane. Okay, guys, have you shown us how to do the clouds with them? I don't think so, Charlie, but I need to. I think Marlene has done them before. Marlene Fudge. I'm going to take a sip of water. Actually, it's Diet Coke. Kind of late for Diet Coke. I'll be up all night. But I am super, super, super excited. It is 8:30. My membership doors open in 3.5 hours. Hope you guys will join us. Have tons of fun. Lots of fun monthly to create with me. Get to know these people in my tribe that are just amazing, supportive, just the best cheerleaders. And yeah, super excited about tomorrow. So I will be jumping on tomorrow. Won't be creating something, probably just kind of giving you a little bit of information again about membership, because I'm teaching an art journal class tomorrow night with the Decorative Painters Academy. Tracy Moreau and I are doing a class together. We should be at St. Simons, Georgia, having a nice retreat with all these students, but I'm teaching my Poppies journal page, and excited about that. And then Saturday I'm teaching an all-day, 6-hour class, again, Society of Decorative Painters, the Decorative Painters Academy, and I'm teaching, I didn't grab it, but it's my, let's see if nope, can't move it. I'm teaching some water lilies. So excited about that too, but I will hop on tomorrow. I will hop on Saturday. If you have any questions at all about my membership, again, message me. You can DM me here. You can email me at sandymctierdesigns@aol.com. You can message me on my website, and I will get the email and email you back. Tomorrow's going to be a little crazy, I have a feeling. And again, super blessed, super excited, but want you guys to know that if you don't get an immediate answer from me, you will get your link each day that you sign up for my membership. Either it's tomorrow, what's tomorrow? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday by midnight. I will send the link for you to join the Facebook group, see all the content that's been there since October. And then next Tuesday night, which isn't my usual night to meet, but I want to do it the night after everybody is in the group. We're going to have our first Facebook Live, kind of a welcome Facebook Live, and a little tutorial from me. And thank you guys so much for sharing. Feel free to share this video. It'll be up on YouTube. And again, any questions at all, let me know. Appreciate you guys so much. Have a fantastic night. And I am out. Y'all, goodbye. So excited. I don't know that I'm going to sleep tonight. Probably not. Y'all, have a good night. Bye.